Om Hari Om. This morning we'll continue the talks on the Bhagavad Gita and try to pay close attention and try to discover the intended meaning that Sri Krishna was instructing Arjuna in chapter 4, specifically the 34th verse. In English, the verse reads thus: "Know this, through humble submission, through inquiry and questioning, through attendance and service, the knowing ones, the perceivers of truth, will be led to teach you knowledge." This is a very important verse because it touches upon one of the most significant and imperative aspects of spiritual practice, which are neglected by most people. And that is to question in attendance. So we should try to understand what Sri Krishna is meaning when he's saying by questioning, by inquiring. He's using the specific word pariprasena, which means, in a sense, to interrogate. But prior to this questioning, avid questioning of a teacher or someone who you trust, or even if you're questioning the actual scripture itself, you should have knowledge, you should have concentration and attendance. This is the word that is used, which means by vidhi. Vidhi means to attend, to know, to bring your knowledge to completion. Actually, this is a significant aspect of spiritual practice, because even the Buddha, in his final words, he said sampadada, which means bring to completion, achieve completion. To achieve completion, we must understand that what we're trying to comprehend and absorb is not a state of being, but it's a path. It's a spiritual path. And therefore each step is important. And as we step further and further into meditation and interior reflection, this is the word Sri Krishna is using again, interior reflection or inquiry, when he says, through inquiry, through pranisena, we should be able to achieve a level of concentration in our meditation where we will be able to discern, or in a sense throw light upon the path that we're trying to understand, which we are trying to accomplish first by understanding, then absorption. So the important thing here in this verse is the fact that Sri Krishna is saying, first you must question, you must interrogate, you must decipher what is actually being taught of in the Gita, what is actually being experienced within our meditation. It's not just a state of being. We're not trying to just achieve a state of calm. What we're trying to do is get the mind to settle down, and in our meditation, in the practice of settling our mind down, we will see the obstacles. Sri Ramana Maharshi spoke of this as the habits of the mind. We need to discern the habits and understand why they persist in drawing us away from the desired path. And it's for this reason that guides are important. Because those who are knowledgeable, having received knowledge from their instructors, from their guides, they understand, they can discern the signposts, in a sense, from where the habits arise. And then they can instruct and point people, not actually do anything other than guide, not really convey, but simply guide a person to success in meditation and spiritual practice. Sri Ramana Maharshi himself, as did Anandamayi Ma, said, the Guru is the spirit of guidance. All they do is point the way. The very Bhagavad Gita itself, being the essence of the Vedas, it is said by the wise that the Vedas, the 4 Vedas, are simply 4 fingers which are pointing the way. They themselves are not the knowledge, but they point the way toward the path that we must tread. And in any traveling, it's important to try to understand and question the direction, because obstacles come, unforeseen things happen, most especially with interior practice, because we don't have a lot of experience with the vagaries of the mind, looking inwardly. We find that there are things that we must understand and not just pass over. So therefore, let us try to, again, understand what Sri Krishna is saying when he said, the knowing ones, those who have known by guidance themselves, they will be led to teach in knowledge. In other words, it's the Lord, it is grace that even guides the teacher or guides the instructor, whether we want to call it guru, friend, guide, teacher. The Lord himself, or Mother Maya herself, is behind that, guiding the person only to the degree of the receptivity of the disciple. In fact, recently we've discussed how the qualifications of the teacher are really not as important, therefore, as is the persistence of the disciple, of the persistence of the student. Let's try to understand. It is a teacher-student relationship, not so much a guru-disciple relationship, for the God is the guru. The guru is the self. The guru is that divine omnipotent power who guides us all. So therefore we should understand that we express our questions, we express our receptivity by the desire to improve in spiritual practice. And thus, improving in spiritual practice, we will come to what Sri Krishna is then referring to in the very next verse, which is 35 of the 4th chapter. Knowing that you will be led to knowledge, you shall not again fall into delusion, O Arjuna, and by that knowledge you shall see all beings in yourself, and also in me. So therefore the Lord is saying that the path is strewn with difficulties which cast us into delusion. One of the most dangerous delusions that a spiritual seeker along the path of spiritual life can encounter is to feel that they no longer need guidance, that they have achieved happiness, that they have achieved their goal. Misunderstanding the goal for simply a path of relief and release and a degree of quiet in the mind. This is not what the Lord is intending for us. The Lord is intending for us to have knowledge of himself. And therefore we should perceive that the path is long, and with patient perseverance we should understand that the Lord himself will guide us if we do not relax our inquiring mind and our reflecting mind, and therefore we do not seek stillness but seek activity and surety that the Lord, every step we take toward him, he's taking leaps and bounds toward us, and thus ultimately we will have freedom from delusion, for we will have embrace and the very presence of the Lord himself. Om.